Let's take a look at one of downtown Vancouver's most expensive new condos, and it's right here. It's a penthouse in the new Butterfly building downtown Vancouver. Beautiful building, and look at that view, right? But guess what? You're paying for it. You're paying for that view. And how much do you think you're paying for a 4,000 square foot condo, luxury condo? What are you going to be out of pocket for a new condo in Vancouver? Well, guess what? $14 million. So let's break it down, take a look at the floor plan, some photos, and see what the inside looks like to see what you get. So this is it. This is what $14 million will get you in downtown Vancouver right now. And honestly, it's not that much. When you start to take a look at it, it's pretty wild. So we're starting at just over 4,000 square feet, which works out to about $3,400 a square foot, which is spicy. Let's take a look at the floor plan. Um, First of all, down here in the bottom left, you'll notice the overall building plan. We're looking at this northern unit that I just kind of colored in there at the top. So this particular floor plan and these sub-penthouses only have 2 units on a floor, which is pretty nuts. So yeah, imagine the penthouse is a whole floor and maybe 1 or 2 levels. I don't know. Be interesting to see. I don't have photos of that, but let's get into this one, the sub-penthouse and $14 million. So you'll notice the private lobby. This is where you come up, you pop out the elevator, looks like right here. You have your own little private lobby, which is kind of nice. Then you enter the Galleria, they call it. Fancy. And the first thing I notice is, man, there's a lot of wasted space in there. It's crazy that, they're showing 1, 2 chairs and a little side table. That's it. This is like some people's whole apartment. And this is a huge waste of space. That's like, I don't know, a decent fraction of the condo, and it's just not much going on there. So anyway, moving on. Yeah, closet and a little powder room there. Sure. Again, tons of wasted space as you go by. But then you're going up this way. You have your grand piano, as everyone does. I guess, I don't know. Then you have your pantry in this way, and then your laundry, and it looks like just a little storage room in there. I mean, that kind of works. This is pretty nice here. This is a lot of storage. I do appreciate that in this sort of back alleyway little corridor, which I kind of like that. Just back up and delete some of this. Okay, so then you're coming in this way. You have a decent sized living room, large dining room that seats 12 people, sorry, 10 people, and then a family room all beside where you have your TV right in there. But again, we're just looking at the walls and just how difficult it is to organize a room functionally with a round wall. Like, notice there's just no furniture on any of these walls. Mind you, you do get those beautiful views. We'll look at that in a second. But just all the wasted space along the edge that nothing will ever go there, right? Because you don't want to block the view, but yet your couch won't fit against it. So, I don't know. Not my favorite. Rounded walls just become difficult for a number of reasons. Also more expensive, and that shows with the $14 million price tag. This is a luxury condo for sure. What else? Kitchen, honestly pretty basic. You have an island that seats a couple people, and then a nice long sort of galley style kitchen. You do have a pretty big terrace, and you actually have a second terrace over here, which we'll look at in a second. But I mean, it's basic. There's just, again, a lot of wasted space in here. Like, nothing's happening here, this whole side with the windows there, nothing. It's just, I mean, it's not a super efficient layout when you have these curved walls. But anyway, let's look the other way. So you come in and you go to the right instead. Well, you do have some long corridors. Don't love those. I mean, it's tough to get away with them, or tough to get away without them, I should say, in a condo. But is what it is. Anyway, come in this way. You have your master bedroom. Nice big closet. I do like that. Whoops. Um, Master bedroom is big enough to have a full-size couch in there. You have your TV. You get a beautiful view looking out. Also this way, and then a pretty big master bath. Again, just look at this wasted space. Everything along the windows. There's nothing going on. Wild. What else? If you keep going down this way, then we do have the bedrooms. You have a bedroom number 1 and bedroom number 2. Your kids, your guests, whatever. They each have their own ensuite, which is, noticeable, or at least noteworthy, I should say, because this is a 3 bedroom, 4 bath, right? We got bedroom, the primary bedroom, the master, And then those two bathrooms with the master bath plus with the powder room over here. So it's actually 3 bedroom, 4 bathroom, and then a big old terrace up here. But again, these curved walls, let's take a quick look at these. Um, they just make it tricky, man, because you can't have a lot of stuff in here or here. Um, Here, these little pinched areas, you're not going to fit a barbecue in there. You can't fit your outdoor patio furniture in there. It just becomes kind of a wasted space. They market this as a very clean building, and we'll see that next coming up in the photos. So this is your $14 million terrace, or one of them, I guess. This is a $7.5 million terrace because you have the second one, but this is the whole selling feature of this building, right? Like, look at that view, and it's tough to deny that is spectacular. You get a view of the North Shore Mountains. You get to look out into the ocean. You get a huge chunk of downtown. So, fair enough. Can't really complain. Yeah, not so bad. But this is the kind of stuff you get on the interior. It is plain Jane, just white. There's nothing happening. It's crazy how plain and simple this is. It's like when the interior designer was working on this, like they didn't make a decision. It's just like, all right, we'll make everything white. Ceiling, I will paint it white. Cabinets, let's do white. Backsplash, maybe white. Wall color, I will do that white. Well, what about the flooring? Okay, we'll do that white. Appliances, white. All right, countertop, white. It's wild. It's just like maybe a texture, maybe a color, something. I don't know. That's crazy to me. And then we have a situation like this. So this is actually a different suite. It's still expensive. This is a $3.5 million suite. Basically the same kitchen, the exact same island. And this is where buildings that really value, you know, form and sort of the beauty, the aesthetic beauty of the building and the design part is really pushed ahead of function. So you're having form is driving function as opposed to function driving form. This is one of those examples. And just look at this island, right? This is where you eat. This is where you drink. This is where you spill things. And look at this. This thing right here, it's where these two levels meet. You have this upper level and this lower level. And they wanted something fancy and expensive and eye-catching. And it is. I mean, fair enough. But like I'll just delete that. This little fold, you end up with this little crease right here where these two parts meet, and just think of all the food that's going to get stuck in there. Like if you're having breakfast and dinner and stuff here all the time, or your kids are spilling milk down there, or you spill red wine or something down there, like that's impossible to clean. And it seems like such a crazy choice to me to be like, all right, let's put this super hard to clean crease right in the kitchen where you're going to be spilling stuff all the time. And, adding to the fact that there will be food in there at some point, you know what's going to happen. This curve and this curve, that definitely doesn't help. Imagine you set your drink down or your kid sets their drink down right there on a curve. Guess what? That's just going to fall right over. So it's like you're just, I don't know. This would have been a super expensive, um, high-end kitchen island to get built, probably custom made, but and they're in every unit it seems like. But just a decision like that, where like you could have taken that little flourish and put it literally anywhere else in this room because there's nothing else going on, and it's just like it looks cool for a second, but just when people move in and actually have to live in this thing, I guarantee they will complain about that at some point. Okay, washrooms, pretty much the same thing. The designer, whoever was doing the interior work on this, just said, "All right, we'll do more white, more white, more white, but we'll mix it up maybe for the wall finishes. We'll do a white marble, and we'll put it everywhere." And it's just, I don't know. I guess they do have a pop of color with the fixtures, which are that nice gold color, sure. But man, like you can have more than one material in a room. It's crazy. Have a little creativity. Go go for something bold. Give it a shot, man. Have a try. Here's one more that just drives me nuts. This is again the $3.5 million condo, which again, sure, that's much cheaper, but it's still $3.5 million. This is your spare bedroom, and that's your view. You're like this particular unit is on the 45th floor, and you can imagine what the view is if this was a window. But the architect for this one just said, no, we want the fenestration to really display in a particular way on the outside. That's what they're saying here. By doing this, they're saying that they're more concerned with the outside of the building and how it looks, as a like a monument or an object for the rest of the city. They're saying that's more important than the people that live in this bedroom because you don't get a view. You're gonna pay $3.5 million and you get a tiny little window. And again, white, 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 white. It's I don't know. I don't get it. Would you pay $3.5 million for a condo like this? I know I wouldn't. So that's the kind of level of interior and interior finishing that you're getting for $14 million. And I do admit, like, it is a beautiful building to look at. It's a nice addition to the skyline. It really stands out. It's quite a bit taller than a lot of the other stuff around it. But then, you know, it's nice to look at. But when you move into one of these units and it's marketed as this premium product that's just ultimate luxury and high end, it's got to be about hopefully the location or something more because I mean the view is nice, but when you just have that level of it's not carelessness on the interior design, but it's just like clearly not caring about the people that are living in there and shelling out a crazy amount of money to live in their building, and it's just not as functional as it could be. It could certainly be worse, don't get me wrong, but for $14 million or the other one that's 3.5 million, we're looking at those photos, it's kind of bonkers to me that there's just not more care and thought put into those little details, and it kind of bothers me. And when you move in, and that's when it becomes apparent because it's nice to look at, and you go to the open house and you think it's beautiful and gorgeous and it's sleek and it's clean, but then you move in and your stuff is all over the where all over the place and it's falling off the counter and you're spilling things into that stupid annoying crack in the countertop. I don't know. It would drive me crazy. But it's a beautiful building on the outside, so I guess that's at least, you know, worth something, right? So, anyway, what do you think? Would you buy a suite or, for 3.5 million or a penthouse for $14 million that look like that, or would you want something more? Let me know what you think down in the comments. And if you're into architecture videos, give a like, give a subscribe, and you'll keep up to date with the latest stuff. See you soon.